Yo, and welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast. My name is Sanji. With me is Ryan. How are you doing, boy?
Yo, do we start off with our bad days? Like, it was a long day, man. I'm tired. Yeah.
Why are you tired? What's wrong?
I came back from Tobago, then had to go straight into the office, and it's just a long one at the office.
What about for those people who don't know what or where Tobago is? We should give them a geography lesson.
Sure, Tobago is one of two islands in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad is the main island. Most of the population lives on Trinidad, but it's very much where you work, where you live. But if you want a getaway that's very scenic, nice beaches, nice food, things to do, lots of tourists, you go to Tobago. I was just there for 2 nights. It's like a work perk where you get a villa for a week. And I randomly just like looked at the schedule and I was like, oh shit, a week opened up. Last minute, just booked the flight, went over, really just for a change of scenery and better food. Didn't even go to the beach, like not even once. But
I feel like I'm working for the wrong company.
Yeah, it's a nice perk. The villa's actually quite nice. It could fit comfortably, probably 8 people. So I definitely did not utilize that to the full extent.
I mean, one day we'll incorporate Banter Boys and have that villa option, right? One day.
Yeah. We're gonna take over the world.
Exactly. Okay, so before we get started with everything, what I'm gonna do is
tell the listeners how you're doing.
Oh, right. Yeah, I should probably talk about my life, man. I don't know. What have I done? Wait, international break. It feels so strange to pod, man. Did I travel? Where did I go?
Went a couple places recently. I don't know.
Where did I go?
I didn't pod last one. Last one was with Robbie, right? So don't know if you gave them the update since then.
Man, I can't even remember what I did with my life from to this pod to last pod. Like, international break, like, I've completely forgotten everything about Fantrax. But at the same time, well, I mean, we're like setting up Banter Bash League. I mean, if you're in the league, big ups to you. You're one of the select few. If you're not, I'm sorry. Like,
we got shouldn't
say that, but yeah, we did get swamped.
We went from having we had like 12 managers for like a couple of months, and then all of a sudden there's like demand to get in this damn league.
Yeah, we've got a waiting list and everything. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, for those who aren't aware, we started our own sort of like league format thingy, where we do like basically 5-a-side teams. So you got like 5 starters, 3 on your bench, 1 injury reserve, and it's 24 managers in one league. The reason we've done it that many is because it equates to like having 12 managers with a 16 player roster. So you should have the same level of difficulty in a sense. And then we kind of just started at game week 11, run it until game week 33, a league format where basically each manager plays each other once in the league. And then we run a playoffs where like top 8 gets by, the other 16 battle it out to get 8 into the round of 16, let's call it. And then, we go quarters, semis, and crown a winner. So we have like a league winner, playoff winner. We've been discussing like doing prizes and stuff, but I don't know. I may be tempted. Let me see. I might try and set up a lemonade stand, make some money on the side, and get a trophy for somebody just for postage, because that's like the biggest pain in the ass. We just send them a gold star sticker or something like that as the prize, right? That's what I was assuming. So
yeah, that's the trophy, right?
Exactly. I used to get them in primary school all the time. That's why I'm so successful in my career now.
I got silver stars, man.
Clearly, someone's smarter than the other person, or one person is colorblind. I don't know.
It's blue and what was it? It was blue and gold versus.
Oh, there was blue and green as well, and red. But I thought all of them were the same thing. I just assumed gold was, first, but I guess I was lied to. By the way, it feels so weird to be recording again because I feel like so out of touch with everything Fantrax related. But I do love the break. Like, I mean, it's great to disconnect completely, focus on other sports, focus on life in general as well.
There are other sports? What?
Listen, I mean, Maybe not for West Indian.
Oh man, Cricket World
But
Cup
you know
has
what?
been good though.
We're finally getting upsets, you know?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
finally
yeah.
had
Afghan,
two
yo,
upsets.
that was such a good game.
And Netherlands now, you know?
Yeah.
Big ups to Batavian, one of our Discord members who's our Brentford rep, also a Netherlands fan. He like basically showed us a picture of his Netherlands t-shirt, cricket t-shirt as well. Looks absolute fire. So you know, happy that they got that surprising win over South Africa. But yeah, I feel so unprepared for this pod. So guys, I'm gonna warn you now, we're probably gonna be mostly bants, less analytical. Like so I don't know how this is gonna go, but we'll see. But before we get started, what I'm gonna do is quick social plug. I'll let Ross do his thing and I'll put that right here.
Yeah, for sure. So you can message us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handles at BantaB. On Discord in the Draft PL channel, Banta Boys #6585. On Reddit, /Banta_Boys. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube, all under the name of Banta Boys.
All right. So hopefully you've listened to us. You know, depending on whatever platform you're in, give us a follow. You know, if you're listening to the pod, I think we've got fewer followers than listens. So if you don't mind, you know, taking a quick second, hit that follow button. Or if you're on YouTube as well, hit that like button. It helps us grow, you know, helps us spread the word. And we just want to keep giving you guys as much useful, if this is useful content to you, as possible. But if this is your first time listening to the Banta Boys podcast, welcome. We cover everything in the Fantrax game in the default version. So typically how we roll these episodes is we have two halves. In the first half, we do a bit of a data dump. So we basically just look at the default scoring categories and numbers from the previous game week. Then we catch up in our leagues, see how we're doing, our past results, any trades, any pickups. We take a halftime pint, and then we come back into the second half with questions that we get from our Twitter community or even our own personal Discord. We're on our own Discord, by the way, and it's absolutely blowing up at the moment. So please jump in there. There's so many things you can chat about. It doesn't have to be fan tracks. You can talk about food that you've eaten, post a picture of your pet. We talk about cricket. Like, we might add some other sports. Who knows? So it's a community for everything and everyone. And we then round off the pod talking about FA/Waiver Picks, basically assets that are under 50% owned because we think you have an easier chance of grabbing them in your leagues. I don't know if there's any other banter you want to talk about, or should we just get started?
I mean, you said you weren't being analytical, and then you said we run two halves. Like, you've killed it, man. Like, let's get going.
All right, let's kick things off then.
Ay, 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 ay. Fantasy with the Banta Boys.
All right, so starting with the data dump. So looking all the way back to game week 8, feels like an eons ago. And eons, that doesn't even make sense. See, this is how like rusty we are with the pod. But
Guys,
yeah, we started
guys,
with.
if Sanchez is bad, I'm way worse.
I'm not, and I'm sober. This is the worst part. I should have drank. That's my problem.
That is true.
Yeah, I should have. I could get a beer. Should I grab a beer? Do you have a beer?
I can do that. Yeah. Let's grab a beer.
I'm gonna go grab a beer.
So I had no cooled beers, so I'm drinking my beer on ice, yo.
Same. I was like, shit, this is terrible planning, man. But luckily, it's cold as shit in this country now, so it's somewhat chilled. In a sense.
Okay.
It was like 4 degrees the other day. Yeah. So my beer's like, it's not warm, right? That's the most important part, I think.
Mine is warm. But speaking of 4 degrees, yo, I went to Canada for a work trip, right? You know this.
Yeah.
I land on a Tuesday. It's 24 degrees, basically. It's lovely out there. It's just, I can walk around and feel nice. No jacket. I was so worried about the weather. I leave on Sunday. By Friday, it drops down to like 10. By Sunday, it's 4 degrees. A 20-degree swing in less than a week. What the hell is wrong with that country?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. One of my coworkers went to Spain or something like that, and I remember last time even I was in Spain around this time. It was like a 16-degree swing or something like that, and like the country's like it feels like it's right across the road. Like
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. All right, let's look at key passes to kick things off. So
Is that a pun?
in game week,
Sorry.
oh, I didn't even understand the pun. Wow, this bear is working
Kick
magic.
things off.
Oh, right. So the highest number of key passes in game week 8 was 6 by McNeil, then 5 key passes by Trippier, 4 key passes by Dalot, Morgan Gibbs-White, Madison, McGinn, Slaboslai, 3 key passes by Vinicius, Amrabat, Willian, Garnacho, who played 26 minutes, Connor Roberts, who played 28 minutes, and Papisar from Spurs. Thoughts, Ryan?
Good to see McNeil back up there. I was skeptical. I still am skeptical. But, good for the owners who held faith.
He played Bournemouth, so I
he
guess
did
that's
play
a
Bournemouth.
disclaimer.
I mean, they're not the worst, right? They're not the best.
They're not the best.
But they aren't the worst. They are
Yeah.
worse. They are worse.
Yeah.
A lot of United on that list, man.
Yeah. They were at home to Brentford, right?
Yeah.
Strakosha made a lot of saves. I mean, Brentford went 1-0 up in that game, and they were pretty much just chasing the game the entire time. I cannot believe they won that game.
Neither me. It was 2 injury time goals, wasn't it? Or something
Yeah.
super late.
Yeah. McTominay came on in like the 87th
Yeah,
minute.
with a
and
brace.
basically
Come
scored.
on.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
can
he's
you-
doing bits for Scotland, so
Oh, yeah. He always does, though. Can you imagine, if you had auto subs in your league and Scotty McTominay is what saved your game week? That would feel amazing.
it's mental because he sucks in the CDM position, I find.
Yes.
But if he played attacking midfield, he'd be an absolute goal scoring machine because he was raised as a striker or some shit like that, I think, at United, right? But no way is he getting a spot as the attacking midfielder in that team. There were way too many spots. They've spent a buttload of money on Mount. Where's the opportunity?
I mean, they also have brought on Anthony Martial off the bench how many times? So...
Yeah.
And Martial got a start for the season already. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
opportunity, man. There's opportunity for sure.
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that club, man. They are an absolute mess.
Yo, I mean, let's not get into the ownership issues and they refused the offer that was anyway. But
Yeah.
it's so much, right? There was
Too
bad
much turmoil.
publicity. There's
Yeah.
just, I mean, Anthony's back, right? He was cleared.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
he played in that game.
he played, yeah. But man, I don't know. Ten Hag was deemed to be this the savior, right? Last season, he's doing great. What happened?
Yeah, now who's the bald fraud? Yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, three United players up there. I guess Sarr, not surprising because they played Luton.
Yes. Connor Roberts is surprising because he only did that. He did that in 28 minutes.
Yeah.
I was actually expecting to see a bit more Liverpool, or actually just not Sobel. We're the typical Salahs and Trents, right?
Yeah, very good point. Yeah. Vinicius, by the way, he seems to be showing ghost point potential. I know it was versus Sheffield United, worst team in the league. So obviously you kind of take that with a grain of salt. But previous minutes appearances, he kind of shows potential to be a bit of a ghoster. But
Yeah,
I guess you wouldn't be punting there. I don't know what to do there.
He's not
Fulham
nailed,
and-
right? That's the issue. He was a good grab last season when Mitro was out and he had to deputize.
Yeah.
But
But Jimmy ain't pulling up any trees, though. I mean,
He's
I
not.
finally had to bite the bullet and let
Drop
go
him.
of him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think Vinicius, I don't know. I would be happy to own, but I also wouldn't feel comfortable owning either. It's a weird one.
yeah. I'd be hard pressed to start him versus Spurs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
On the Monday game, right? And it's that late on, so I would hope most of your roster is done by then.
Right. Yeah. Monday's late.
Yeah. All right. Nothing else, I guess. So good to see Trippier, man. Constant machine.
Oh, one last
Absolute
point.
machine.
No City,
What's up?
right? Like
Oh.
Arsenal
Yeah.
won, and I mean they
Yeah.
did well. Like kept them
Yeah.
down.
Very much so. Yeah. Very good point. Also, like, Chelsea scored 4 goals. No Chelsea players.
Yeah, I think nobody really ghosted like extremely well. Like you mentioned that Palmer, if you remove his goal and assists, didn't
Yeah.
actually do that well.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah. Cool. All right, let's look at shots and how many were on target. High sum of shots attempted in game week 8 was 6 by Douglas Luiz. He had 0 on target though. 5 shots attempted by Willian, who had 3 on target. Abdoulaye Doucouré with 3 of his 5 on target. Mo Salah with 2 of his 5 on target. Then 4 shots attempted by Bruno Fernandes with 2 on target. Richarlison with 1 of his 4 on target. That was in 45 minutes because he got subbed because they got that red card for Bissouma diving. Oh, fucking idiot. Diving, getting a second yellow. Honestly, fucking idiot. Bobby de Corver-Reed had 1 of his 4 shots on target. James Garner from Everton, 2 of his 4 shots on target. And then Harrison with 1 of his 4 shots on target. Thoughts, Ryan?
So yeah, I'm gonna do what you said. Discredit Fulham here because who they played.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna mention really anything about Willian or Bobby. I think Douglas Luiz is nuts. Like trigger happy.
Really?
What?
Honestly.
Glad to see Salah on this list, but I think it's probably because the red card to Jota, the suspension to Jota, the injury to what's his name? Gakpo, meant that Salah kind of had to pick up this role again, not be a creator as much. And then Everton boys are kind of ticking along, right?
Yeah, but now they come up against like the worst fixture run of life, right? So
Yeah, but
their fixture run. Oh, sorry.
Merseyside derby is not like you can never just call that. I find. I mean, yes.
I mean,
they're more
I
than likely gonna lose.
I would agree if it was at Goodison Park though, and this is at Anfield.
Fair
Like,
enough. Okay.
if the fixture's at Anfield, like I immediately rule out the team. Like,
Yeah. Fair.
So, like, Everton's fixtures for, like, what is this? The next 7 at least? Liverpool away, West Ham away, Brighton at home, Palace away, United at home, Forest away, Newcastle at home. I guess 3 of those aren't too bad. And yes, I'm throwing United into that.
Okay, so it's Forest, United, and Palace.
Palace.
Yeah.
Like, Palace aren't really scoring at the moment.
No.
Decent team, gets results, great coach.
By the
old
way,
as fuck.
I haven't watched
What?
Palace play in like ages, but like I thought Joachim Anderson's ghost or his start was a bit unsustainable, right?
Yeah.
Then I go on to watch like his games for his international team, and he got a goal or assist there too, and I'm like, what is this? Like, am I just wrong? Do I just need to change my perspective?
I think so, man. I mean, in previous seasons, I know he's been like a bit of a key pass machine in a sense.
Yeah.
For centre
For a
back, he just
defender.
randomly gets key passes. And so, yeah, maybe it's just kind of translating in a sense. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird.
Very
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like you said, like it's kind of obvious the rest of them. Like Everton played Bournemouth. We're not talking about Fulham. Versus Luton. Salah expected. Bruno is expected because no one else is really doing anything in that United team.
So again, just no City and no Arsenal, right? Both in key passes and both on shots at target. It's just so surprising to see.
Again, no Chelsea.
No Chelsea, right? And they won 4-1. Like,
Like, I mean, to be fair, like one of our goals was an own goal as well. So I don't know if that helps. But still.
let's see
Still.
how many ex-Chelsea though. Willian, Salah.
Yeah. No one else?
No,
Damn.
no one else. Yeah, it's not enough. Not enough.
Yo, speaking of Dirk Cordova Reed, one of our members from our Banter Boys home league,
Yo!
met Bobby, met Leon Bailey, and met Mikhail Antonio
Yeah,
in
yo.
Trinidad for the Haiti game.
I am so annoyed. Like, I have an exam coming up, so I didn't even go to Trinidad game. We won with the last kick of the game, basically, a free kick.
I retweeted it.
That was
Yeah.
insane.
Nathaniel Phillips, right?
Yeah,
Or something
yeah,
was his name? Yeah.
Something like that.
19-year-old kid, man.
Man, the stadium blew up, right? I was so annoyed I wasn't there. And then the next day, we had to host Jamaica versus Haiti because Haiti can't. Man, that would have been a great game to go to.
Yeah. It's awesome. Like, so my mate who you've met him, Mackensen, who basically is a big player in the football industry in the Caribbean. I remember he posted the picture with his wife posing with all of them, and his caption was basically like, she has no idea who these guys are, but I've never seen her smile so much.
That's great.
It was so cute. Too cute. All right. Let's move on to accurate crosses into the box. So highest number was 4 by Dalot, 3 by McGinn and Trippier, 2 by Casemiro, who came off as a halftime sub, 2 by Kulusevski, Mitchell, and Adam Smith. Thoughts, Ryan?
I think Dalot really showed up this game week. It shows. The rest isn't that surprising. I guess Casemiro in just a half. Mitchell, Smith, I don't really expect, but not too surprised that they're on the ACNC list. And Trippier, Kulu, McGinn, not very shocked.
So, I mean, it's like you said, obvious numbers. So I'm going to take this opportunity for us to talk about Casemiro, man. We had a little bit of a chat off here. I feel like I'm in a lot of groups or a lot of chats where people are like talking about trading him, possibly dropping him. And I guess like you look at his like past few games, I kind of get it. Like 6 in 45 minutes, 3 in 90, 9 in 90, 3.5 in 63, 3.5 in 90. The 3.5 scores came against Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Arsenal. I guess the Arsenal one is kind of understandable. And he did get a yellow card in that Crystal Palace game. But I still think he's way too good to be dropped or like easily considered about trading. And like it's because I think also because United are just dog shit at the moment. It's not helping his value. Like it's something I pointed out to you as well during our chat. It's like, who has the most number of goals for Manchester United across all competitions?
Yeah, Casemiro, right?
4 goals. It's mental.
It is. So I also know a lot of people were talking about, is he really injured? Is he going to be out? And I guess that kind of factored into, should they drop? I think I saw news recently that says he's okay. Like, yes, he had something, but he should be fine. So I definitely won't be dropping if I owned. I mean, who knows when United will get their shit together? We do think with the fixtures turning after City, it should be sooner rather than later, right? I think
You'd think so. Like their fixtures do get better, don't they?
Yeah. After City, they look really good. Sorry, who do they have?
So they have Sheffield United away
Right.
immediately, but then after that City home game, they've got Fulham away, Luton at home, Everton away, and then Newcastle away, Chelsea at home. But at least for those 3 fixtures, I think I'd be wanting Casemiro. Like
exactly. Minutes
in a
Are you
season where
worried
you're
about his-
struggling for mids as well. Like he's a good mid 3.
Yes, for sure. Are you worried about his minutes?
A little bit, just because I don't trust Eric Ten Hag. I don't know why you're taking him off. Like, okay, I mean, the goal that they conceded to Brentford was kind of his fault because he gave away the ball in midfield and they kind of countered and they just ended up into shit. But I also think like he needs a bit of help in that midfield and he's not getting that right help or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Ten Hag is doing some weird stuff. Like, yes, he has
Weird stuff.
injuries to cope with, but Amrabat,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that really where he should be playing?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He doesn't even look that good. I don't think so, at least. I mean, again, he's new to the league and all that sort of jazz, but Casemiro's class, bro. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he is older.
yeah.
I still would hold, just like you said. I mean, you've called him kind of like a Rodri light, right? And he kind of is still
Yeah.
that, so.
I think so. Yeah. All right. Now we will look at some extra categories, any like outliers and stuff like that. So tackles won. Highest number was 5 by Solly March. Then 4 by Polinia and Robertson. Dispossessions, 6 by Tavernier. 5 by Kulusevski and Solanke. Then interceptions, 6 by McAllister. 4 by Zuma. Clearances, holy shit, 17 by Pinnock, 13 by some guy named Trusty from Sheffield United. I love that name. And successful dribbles, 7 by Tavernier, 5 by Mitoma, aerials, 7 by DCL, block shots, 3 by Pinnock. Quick thoughts?
Yeah, so Tavernier showed up there twice, dribbles and dispossessions. Not surprising. That happens to a lot of the people who dribble a lot.
Yeah.
Like Sterling comes to mind.
Yeah.
But man, he's so good when he plays. Like,
yeah,
he's so consistent. 9 points with those 6 dispossessions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like for the season, he's had 8, 9.5, 9.5, 3.5, and 9. It's slightly better than steady Eddie territory, except that one game where it was versus Arsenal, so they just didn't really have much of the ball. But also for a team who are not performing well at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember someone just going off on him in our Discord saying when he plays, he's just really great. And then it's only then I went and looked up his stats, and it's like, yeah, he really is.
Mm-hmm.
So Tav was one that jumped out, and I guess Pinnock topping 2 categories, like just doing what he does, despite the fact that Brentford played 1, Manchester United 2 didn't have their regular goalie in goal, or maybe how do you pronounce his name?
Strakosha,
right? Okay, so maybe he does get a bit more playing time because Flecken hasn't been doing the job, but
so Flecken had appendicitis, no surgery, so there's a chance he's back sooner rather than later.
So I mean, we were all worried about Brentford to some degree, right? Because Pinnock also looked like he might have something.
Yeah.
They just have a lot of issues, not necessarily injuries, like confirmed injuries, but still. Is Ben Mee almost back? I think he is, right?
Yeah, I think he was in training or something like that, but inside sources suggest that he won't be playing anytime soon.
Okay.
But it's definitely a name to keep an eye on for sure, I think.
Yeah.
I
mean, the rest, good to see DCL back. Really annoying as a better owner, but I'm glad for the guy. Like, he's
By
back.
the way, March put up 18 points with the assist.
Yeah, March is nuts, man. Like, just ghost wise, he just does so well. How do you top the tackles won category?
Yeah. It's kind of mental.
Yep.
Kind of fucking mental. I think he played left back as well, by the way, for that match. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, if I memory serves, he was killing it this season. He was there like pretty much all the time, right?
Yeah.
Getting those defensive points, not suffering from conceding goals, and still getting decent attacking returns.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, but it's like you said, nothing else that is crazy other than that name, Trusty.
Great stuff.
Yeah. All right, now let's look at league updates. Ryan, I'll let you kick things off. How did your leagues go in Game Week 8?
I could be super brief and just say I lost both. So in DPL Com League, the one we're both in, I lost to Gavin. He pretty much doubled my score. I had 54, he had 110. It was not good. So I had Ben White, who I'm surprised by. He kept ticking along, and he's done way better this season than I thought he would do. Like, I thought he was going to be rotation prone. Thought he would not be able to keep up the returns. He's been great. But
where do you think Ben White sits scoring, like total scoring of all defenders?
7th.
3rd.
Jesus, wow. He's been really good. Like, he's own him.
Smashing it, bro. Yeah,
I didn't realize it was that good. Okay. So he was one of my only good sparks. Him and Darwin Núñez, but Nunez, I knew had to start because of the issues we talked about to Liverpool before.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed actually that he only got one return. I was really expecting multiple. But even so, losing by 50 points is not a good look. Game week regrets. I grabbed Boubacar Kamara. Did not go well. He was ghosting well, right? Like, he was doing okay. So I think it wasn't a horrible grab. I also went, I had a lot of unexpected lineup issues, but I also grabbed Lascelles, and that didn't go well either. So those are big regrets. I think I've pretty much dropped both of those guys already. I still only am nursing 3 defenders in this league. Ben White, Andy Robertson. So those are 2 solid ones. And I had Gvardiol for a while. Dropped him to pick up someone and then didn't grab him back because it was a tough fixture, right?
Yeah.
So I went with Lascelles. Going to clearly drop Lascelles. Oh, I think I'd already dropped Lascelles. Grab Wan-Bissaka. So I did not get Tsimikas as I wanted to cover for Robo, but right before we started recording, I grabbed Thiago Silva. So fine. I have defenders now. I sorted out my side. So
Yeah.
And then
not bad.
Yeah, I think I have 5 defenders now. Robo, 1v, who else? Ben White, Thiago. Okay, so 4 defenders.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with the whole Boubacar Kamara thing. Like, I feel like those steady Eddie CDM guys, like, I'd probably only grab them if it was a double game week.
Fair. It was
minutes,
slim pickings at the time. Like,
yeah, I get it.
I had to play Gravenberch who didn't start, right? And he came on and got 45 minutes, but it was a bad week for me. Rodri was suspended. Barkley didn't play the first game, so I just clearly benched him. I benched Wissa thinking, oh yeah, United are going to do bits. And well, clearly that was the wrong call.
Yeah, rough one, man.
Rough one. That's all right. It happens. Yeah, I mean, my opponent in both leagues had Salah and Sobo, right? That alone. That alone pretty much crippled me.
Yeah,
so
double dagger.
In Banter League, Achim I played, I lost 78 to 102. He also had Salah or Sobo. So it really wasn't a good week, but I think there were some upsides. In Banter League, Dalo coming good, and Palmer getting the start and doing bits again. Like,
he's getting a penalty.
Yeah. What was that like?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah,
no clue.
That cannot be a permanent thing. There's no way.
Good God, I hope not. Man, I really want my number 9 to be getting the pens.
But I mean, the one before was Enzo's, and it was so bad, right? Like,
it was terrible. Yeah.
So
maybe it's a thing. I don't know.
Jesus. The game week bad in that league, I played Broja again because he got his start. Man, he ghosted like nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, and we were talking about...
It's something we kind of talked about, though.
Yes.
I was concerned about that.
You were.
Ghosting, right? So, yeah.
And I grabbed Will Hughes. We were joking throughout the game where he had this like 0-0-0. Towards the end of the game, he finally got 0.5. And then the game finished. And he got the clean sheet, and we were celebrating it.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Bro, he was on like -1 the entire game.
That additional 1 point, we were like, yo.
It's crazy.
Roster concerns in that league. I have a bit of a couple liabilities on the bench. Beto no longer starting. Barkley constantly struggling to get fit. Who else? Evan Ferguson, who's like always subbed early. And then I guess Will Hughes, who I don't trust anymore. What did I do? I dropped, I can't remember who, but I grabbed Tsimikas. that was literally it.
Screw everyone, get Tsimikas. At least one of us got Tsimikas somewhere.
I know, right?
I mean, what I'd do is offer Beto to the DCL owner. Hope and pray that Beto gets a start. But if he doesn't get a start, at this point, I think you might have missed your window if you wait that long for like lineups to come up and the game week has started.
Right.
Then I'd probably drop Beto because I think then he has no value in that sense.
Right.
But the Hughes I drop. And who's the other guy that you mentioned? There was another Barkley. Why the hell do you still have Barkley?
Yo, I paid Fab. I'm just annoyed that I
Sunk
paid
costs.
Fab. I know. So
Bro,
actually,
Andros is back. Come
I
on.
know, man. I'm so excited for it. So actually, I'm looking at my squad. I did make a few more changes here. I grabbed Onana from Everton, Steady Eddie.
Interesting.
Uh,
You know, he only started because I think somebody got a warm-up injury or something like that. He apparently was
really?
late for the game and was not supposed to start. So just
I
heads
did
up.
not know that. And I grabbed Partey actually.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
But I think he was ghosting better at the beginning of the season because he was playing reverse OOP, right?
yeah, like right back. or
Right
something
back,
like that.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to stay that ghosting at that level, but
Mm.
so I think I did fix his team. I dropped I must have dropped Hughes, Beto. I think I still own Barkley. Yep, I still own Barkley.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. You're gonna. I don't know when you're gonna drop him, but
yeah,
like,
who knows? Who
yeah,
knows?
we'll see. I mean, they've got a decent fixture this game week, so
They do. I'm playing him.
yeah, of course you are. All right. Shall we move on to my
Yeah,
league
let's do it.
updates?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Banter Boys in DPL, I got a win, 99 to 60, something like that. So game week good. Tarkowski, Trippier, Jensen continuing to do bits for me. Nico Jackson scoring 17 and a half in 45 minutes as
Good
a
for him,
halftime
man.
sub. Yeah, really happy he got his goal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Burnley. Sure, make that of you what you will or whatever. But yeah, I'm happy that he took the goal well as well. So
Right.
it'll be interesting to see what Poch does between him and Broya. Bobby FA punt, Bobby de Cordova Reed. So I had Jimmy lined up for this game, like last chance saloon or whatever, and obviously I don't think he was even in the squad. I don't even remember if he was on the bench. So I was like, okay, fuck it, I need like some sort of a backup. And I was like, okay, which Fulham player is available against the worst team in the league? And I was like, sure, let's punt on Bobby. And Bobby scored a goal. And I immediately dropped him right after. Like, you served your purpose. Goodbye. And I got Lyle Foster, played Lyle Foster against Chelsea, and he got another attack and return.
Yo.
I love this guy.
Yeah, man. He has not
he's so
stopped.
good. Yeah, he's not. And this has been during an extremely difficult fixture run. The
For
guy
sure.
has 5 attacking returns in 5 games versus Villa, Spurs, Forest away, Luton away, and Chelsea. Like, the only team he didn't return against was Man City.
Right. Yeah.
It's mental. Absolutely mental. So I'm really happy I own him now. Game week regrets. We talked about punting on Will Hughes, right? Punting on Harvey Elliott. I thought it would have been a great punt versus a leaky Brighton.
Right.
Came off after 45 minutes with 1 solid point. Excellent.
Yeah. So I never know what to expect with Harvey Elliott, right? Like you
Really,
watch him in
same.
other competitions and he does brilliantly. You watch him in
Yeah.
Prem and he does shit.
Yeah. Or if you don't own him, then he does fantastic too.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
What else? Roster concerns. So my concerns were about Christie and Casemiro. I mean, we talked about Casemiro, right? So maybe it's
Yeah.
just Ten Hag doing things. Ryan Christie, 45-minute sub, 0 points. Would you be worried?
I would be worried. I would drop. To me, Christie's a streamer, and if
Yeah.
they're not guaranteed minutes, yeah, drop the Ryan.
Because it's concerning that he's not played 90 minutes once this season,
Right.
right? So I never know what to expect with Iraola, and they're in a bit of a pickle at the moment, man. Not
They
the greatest
definitely
start.
are. Yeah.
I think they've managed a few more points than they did last season at this point comparatively, but I think like their next couple of games are very big games, man. Wolves at home, Burnley at home. They need to get at least 1 win, I think, in those next 2.
Probably 4 points out of it, right?
Yeah.
Anything
yeah.
less is probably a fail.
Yeah, because after that, Man City away, Newcastle at home, like
Yeah.
it's a bit tough again. So let's see how things go for them. But yeah, I mean, I'm a bit hesitant to play Chrissy. I mean, it's against Wolves, and I know Wolves do concede chances, so that's the only upside. But I feel like it's gonna be like a play Chrissy out of necessity thing, right? If I have other players that are benched or something like that I can't drop.
Right.
Douglas Luiz dilemmas, I still am unsure, but we ran a Banter Boys poll, and majority was basically like, hold him. Like 12-man league, midfield is tough to stream. Like, he's playing 90 minutes, he's on pens, he's on set pieces. Like, sure, he doesn't ghost well, but don't drop. Basically.
I mean, he also took 6 shots, so
yeah,
0 on target, but that's not the point.
But 6 shots, yeah, fucking mental. That's true. That's very true. So in this league, for waivers, I have a dilemma. And
do you?
Obviously
I don't think you do. You have a forced roster concern.
Yes, I have an illegal roster. That is correct. Because yet again, I have 7 forwards, which is illegal, guys. FYI. Unless you play in a league with like Andres, where you can like legally field 4 active forwards.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But I dropped Bobby, Hughes, and Elliott and grabbed Huang, Odebear, and Sinistera. And so now I have too many forwards and I need to trade a forward out, right? So, I mean, looking at my roster right now, I've got like the 3 that I mentioned. I've got then Ivan Toney, obviously keeping for, the new year. Nico Jackson, Lyle Fossa, and Jota.
So, like, when are you ever going to play Odebear? Like, that's what I don't get. Like,
but his ghost point, I mean, 2 games, sure, small sample size, but he does have ghost point potential.
Oh, he
He's
does.
shown it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But man, you didn't need him.
No, I don't. It's pure greediness, and I should have probably prioritized other positions in my
Like
team.
a defender, you're knocking me
Yeah.
for only having 3 defenders, and you also
Yeah.
only have 3 defenders.
Oh yeah, exactly.
7
So I-
powers.
I definitely do need to make a trade. Like, so I'm probably gonna try and offer a forward to like some manager in our league for a defender. I know there are a couple that want forwards, so. But I mean, it's like, which one do I trade? Obviously, you'd hold Ivan Toney.
Yes.
I mean, I'm keeping Nico Jackson
Yes.
because I'm a blind Chelsea fan that
Right.
believes. Lyle, I can't trade him because I've been chanting his name from Kingdom Come. So it's basically offer everyone else, right?
That's fair. And I think you could probably get some trade value out of Huang, or hope Sinistera comes in and does well, and then sure.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at your bench. Man, this is jokes. Eze, Huang, Odebear, Sinistera, and Tony. Like,
Yeah.
you have an extremely thin team this coming game week.
Oh, very. Yeah. I mean, the fixtures are great, though. Juan
Yes,
versus
yeah,
Bournemouth.
yeah.
Love that. Jota, if he starts versus Everton. Love that. I'd probably bench Nico because it's against Arsenal.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
Lyle versus Brentford, who keep conceding. Sinistera, if he starts, he's ghosting well off the bench, playing against a somewhat leaky Wolves. Like, the fixtures are decent.
They are.
It's just I can't play all of them. That's the problem. So I need to make a trade somehow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And you mentioned some guy wants a forward, so.
yeah, you know what I was thinking as well is like, in order to figure out trades, what if you just like look at, the transactions in your league and see the managers that attempted pickups but failed, and maybe you go with those options because, they were really considering them or something like that. Like, I'm trying to get into the head of the other manager, and it's just probably bad airing it because this manager probably listens to our pod, but like, I'm just trying to think of like best ways to like do trade sort of thing.
No, yeah, it makes sense. It gives you insights into what people actually want, right?
Yeah.
I like what do you call it? I keep forgetting. The trade block, right? Like, to me, they improved it with the updated UI,
Yeah.
but it's still not something that people update on a regular basis. It's not something that is even useful because, yes, people have a ton of players on their trade block, but when you try to trade with them, it doesn't always work out. Like I have Darwin on my trade block. I got offered, I think, Lucadine or which is not bad, but
Not bad, but you've been offered better.
Yes, I've been offered better, and I'm still worried about Moreno, right?
Yeah.
What was it? Was it Luka Dean? But yeah. So, yes, you get trades out of it, but you crafting your own is probably definitely a better approach, like you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I got Declan Rice for Beto
Yeah.
in IGL, which is perfect transition, because let me quickly talk about that before we wrap up this segment. Win over there and the win in the IGL Cup as well into the next round. Wins all around.
Good job.
I'm sorry. So that was like 91 versus 73. Game week good. United is shit, but Bruno keeps ticking along with double-digit returns. Garner, Jensen, Lyle attacking returns. Same with Nico. Mbuemo, by the way, he seems to be ghosting better all of a sudden.
Yes. I mean, when you have more work to do, because he's kind of been playing a weird role, right?
Wide, sort of right wing back.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I mean, 90 minutes as well. Like, and there was like 13 minutes of extra time, I think, in that game versus United. So, I mean, I love assets that play the full match, especially when we have so much extra time.
Very true.
Game week regrets over there was Cho 3 points in 65 minutes. I almost said 3 minutes and 65 points. That would be fantastic as an asset. Yeah. Yeah, like the thing is, I talked about, him being a bit of a golden boy for Steve Cooper, but he's not seeing out games. So I don't know if this is like the last opportunity for him to do well versus Luton and then maybe trade high on him.
Right. Maybe.
So I'm kind of toying with that a little bit. And then not playing my new boy Declan Rice, who got 10.5 versus Man City, which I fucking love.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah.
Decky, man. I didn't think he was going to go that well with Arsenal. Just felt like there would be less to do.
Yeah.
He's actually ticked along pretty nicely.
Very nicely.
Yeah. And I think his departure kind of left a gap for Souček to fill, because Souček has been upticked again back to kind of the season he first came in, right?
Yeah.
But that's a solid trade, man.
Well, Beto.
Yeah.
For Decky.
Yeah,
I know.
like,
I can't believe I got it.
I'm so annoyed that I actually didn't try to trade Beto on a high.
Yeah, I mean, you still have time. Just do it before the game week starts, before pressers come out.
Yeah,
like send it to the DCL owner.
Yeah, exactly.
Get something out of him, right? Get some value. I think there's still value to be had. Really, Beto? Oh,
yeah.
Well,
because he wasn't starting. I think I just
better do it before we release the pod.
Better late than never. Oh man.
Oh yeah. What else is going on in that league? Roster concerns. We talk about Douglas Luiz. Don't know if I need to do another trade in this league. So who did I get as I wouldn't be surprised if I grabbed more forwards in this league, honestly. No, okay, so I think I tried to grab Tsimikas in this league, and the only trade pickup that went through was I got Josh Brownhill, for Thiago Silva.
Oh, not bad.
I've been chanting Josh Brownhill was my most recent Burnley chant. And obviously getting thrashed for it because of how shit Burnley are, I guess. But the guy takes corners.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean,
the fixtures are gonna get better, right?
They will, yeah.
I just want to check quickly, the corner kicks for Burnley. Who has the most corner kicks? So usually I get these numbers from FBref.
Right.
I just go on player pass types, and then there's player stats. So yeah, Josh Brownhill, most corners for Burnley, 26 of them.
This season?
Yeah.
Is it that many? Wow.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, he should be ghosting way better. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, he's not been ghosting terribly.
No, he's been good. Definitely a good grab.
Yeah. 6 versus Chelsea, 9 versus Luton, 5 versus Newcastle, 8.5 versus Manchester United. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
As my mid 5? Yeah, I don't know. That's just me though. I know other people have different views on it. So I mean, last thing on this thing was I wasn't sure whether I should do another trade because I also have 6 forwards in this league. I apparently love forwards.
It's been a season of forwards though. Like it's so hard
Yeah.
to get a good mid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I lucked out picking up Doughty in one league, but like Barkley is my mid in both leagues. I really need to fix that. I'm so
Yeah,
waiting
either.
on Townsend to just splash the rest of my fab.
Okay, how much fab are you dropping on Townsend, by the
I
way?
think I have 4 fab left, so I'm dropping off.
Love it. Love it for the culture. Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep Barkley so I can have Barkley, Doughty, and Townsend all in the same
Oh my
squad.
God.
Yeah.
I heard somewhere on a different pod, like a stat that apparently Luton have attempted the most crosses this season. Like
Doesn't surprise
160
me.
Something.
They all come
Like,
from
it's-
Doughty.
It's mental, bro. Like 196. It's on FBref. What the fuck?
It must all be Doughty, yo.
Mental. Absolutely mental. All right, guys. I think we will wrap up the first half there. We'll take our halftime pint and we'll see you in a bit with questions and picks. And we are back. All right. We got some questions. Not as many as before. I guess people are just enjoying their break. That's why. That's what I'm going to chalk it down to. Not because we're getting worse and worse as a pod. Obviously not.
We're improving, yo. Are you not hearing the quality content tonight? As he sips from his drink.
My warm beer. Ugh.
I know, my ass is melted. This is like...
Yeah,
this
I
is
have no
warm
idea
now.
how you put ice in that. That's even worse.
It's watery
we should
warm beer.
make the poll for that actually in our Discord. Would you rather ice in your beer or warm beer?
Ooh. Yeah, well, when it reaches this watery warm beer, it's not fun.
And we'll give you the results on the next pod. So
Definitely. But you know what?
Okay.
It is true.
What? What's
People
up?
on the international break, like we've just noticed less listens, right? So
yeah.
it just means we're going to deliver this kind of quality content during the international break. We
There
also
you
don't
go.
pay attention as much as we usually do. So
Exactly. I mean, there's been like Euro qualifiers and all that shit, but I haven't really been following stuff.
yo, teams
know.
are on the edge, man. Someone got knocked out. Was it like Norway?
Yeah, Norway didn't make it or something like that, right?
And then like I feel like Italy's at risk. I mean, they've been flirting with risk for the last however many seasons on every damn international tournament. But
Yeah.
someone big, like I don't know if it's Czech Republic or something, is like at risk. There are a few teams that. Why are they there?
Yeah, I think Netherlands had to like score a pen or something to go through or something, and Virgil van Dijk took the pen.
No
in, like the
way.
injury time. Yeah, bro, some wild shit, bro. It's
There's
crazy.
still like fixtures left, right? But still, it's still like you would think by now teams have sealed up their group, but yeah.
Yeah. If you have Euro questions, I don't know, man. All I do is when the tournament rocks up, I just play fantasy.
Yo,
That's all I know. Which we'll probably have a Discord channel for. So, keep an eye out.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's do questions. We'll take turns, I think.
Okay.
So why don't you go first?
Sure. First question from Frog Toga. Do you guys dabble in other fantasy sports? I got roped into NFL this year. It's been weirdly relaxing compared to the pressure he places on EPL.
I mean, you are not doing any other sports. Have you ever done any other sports?
I've done NFL once for a work league draft season. Man, that was fun. It's just not something I would actively watch unless I'm playing.
Yeah.
I've done cricket with you.
Yeah, IPL.
Yeah. And the international tournaments, T20 World
Yeah.
Cup and stuff. But no, time constraints. I really just focused on EPL and UCL this season.
Nice. I've done basketball with Ross before. I know
Right.
he does it consistently, I think.
He does.
So, I mean, if any listeners are out there, we should probably add a basketball channel, I think, to our Discord.
Yeah, I think
'cause
we
I'm
have,
sure with it amount of Americans that we have in our
True.
group. Like, we probably might as well add an NFL one too.
NFL, I think like, Ian plays, Ross plays, Kyle plays. Basketball is
Yeah.
Kyle and Ross. Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to get Kyle back. Let's just talk
yeah.
about other sports. So for me, I am currently doing, outside of football, I'm doing the World Cup fantasy cricket thingy, but not like budget or make transfers. I'm basically doing like an 8-manager draft league, like zombie league. So we just basically drafted and we're not making changes. We're just using the players that we have. I'm currently 7th out of 8, so not great.
oh man, I did not know this.
Started fantastic. Game week 1, I was like first, and then everything just went to shit. I've not captained well either, and like our Man City Inside Tracks rep is first. Ben
Nice.
Chickens, shout out to you. He's on like 3,182. Our boy Vishal is third. 2,767. So it's nice, man. I think I've just been a bit unlucky there as well. Like, I now have the Kane Williamson fractured thumb injury, so he's not playing. My first pick was out with dengue for the first 2 game weeks.
Yeah,
Shubman Gill as
yeah.
well. But now I'm like starting to tick along. Like, my team is starting to slowly get points. I think it's crazy that scoring a duck gets you -25. That's fucking mental to me.
That's great.
Also, yeah, it's crazy. And also, strike rate matters a lot in this game.
Okay.
Like, if you're below 100, it like fucking ruins your batting score or whatever.
Right.
But I've got a nice team. So I mean, if I was to like, I guess, call out my team there. Shubman Gill from India, Imam ul Haq from Pakistan, Mushfiqur Rahim from Bangladesh, Steve Smith from Australia, Kane Williamson from New Zealand, Devon Conway, Marco Janssen, Basta Lead from Netherlands, boss all-rounder really, Mitchell Marsh, Liam Livingstone, Kuldeep Yadav, the Fizz from Bangladesh, and the other names I either don't know how to pronounce, I don't think anyone else will know. But it's a solid team.
Not bad.
Solid team.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're second last, to be honest. But
Yeah.
but Shubman out did play a big part in that, like first pick, right? Like,
Yeah.
but good that he's back.
And the thing is, like, I've seen other managers, like their players have scored 300 plus and they've captained them as well. And that made a massive difference. I've not had a good captaincy score yet. And I think once I do that, that will kind of catch me up with the rest of the group. But there's still a lot of the tournament to go, right?
Oh, so
Still
it's
a lot of
league
game
format.
weeks.
It's just totally...
Yeah, so there's
Okay.
like league format and then it goes straight. I guess it continues as the teams get knocked out, that sort of thing. Like
Right.
the same way we've done like Euros and World
Yeah,
Cup,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
We've done draft in that too. So like I drafted with the mentality of like, okay, I think these teams or players are going to go far. So I'm going to do that. And then when those teams ran out, I just went for like the talisman from the other nation. So like Basta Lead from Netherlands or I don't know, a couple of the Bangladesh guys like the Fizz and etc.
yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, do that. I mean, there are other sports. I'm fucking mental when it comes to fantasy, man. I probably get roped into anything if you invite me. So
Yeah,
I
fair.
have problems.
I mean,
admitted it.
if you
Yeah.
really want like more people, we know a lot of
Yeah.
guys who are doing like Formula One fantasy, rugby fantasy. So
Yeah,
let us know
Yeah.
and we can always put you in touch with them.
100%. Yeah. All right, sweet. Next question comes from DJ. I think he has a few of them, so we'll take them one at a time. His first one is McNeil the Ghost Point King back?
So I'm still skeptical. I mentioned this already, but
Yeah.
it has been a great uptick from where he started. I'm worried that like Garner is eating into some of his corners, and
Yeah.
like I think Harrison's going to take away some of how much play goes through McNeil. So that's why I'm worried. And well, Ducory has just been great so far for the season, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like McNeil has as much talismanic status as he did before, but he's still ticking along nicely. So I would probably get a tough fixture to gauge it. Maybe
Yeah.
this pool game coming up is a better reflection of what his floor can be, and then gauge it from there.
Yeah, that's a great point. Because I think versus Bournemouth, he was like at one point, I think for like half the game, he was on negative 0.5 or something like
Right.
that. And then all of a sudden, he just smashed it. So
Yeah.
there's a chance that he maintains that shit score versus a tough team for the entire game. So, yeah. Next question. Will Martinelli start most Premier League matches now he is fit and already firing?
So I'm sure we have tons of actual Arsenal fans in our Discord. They could probably answer this better than I can, but in my opinion, Martinelli's in the first squad, like first 11, nailed starter in that side when he's fit. I think he offers a bit more than the rest of them, and if I was an owner, yeah, I would be happy that he's back.
Yeah, agreed. I think he's too good to be on the bench. And like Tross is quality, but I still think Tross is a little older and would just be, the perfect impact sub.
Correct.
sort of thing. So,
I mean, everybody loves a Brazilian, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. So, final question from DJ is Alex Moreno worth the hold?
I feel like I'm against majority here. I would say
Same.
no.
I mean, I own Digne, that's probably why. But
Yeah, I would say no. And I think a poll was sent out the same time he asked this question. I voted no, but the majority voted yes, right? And I think even if he does get back in, like, to the squad and gets a random start here or there, I don't think he's going to be nailed as the starter. I think they're going to share minutes, which is still not as good. So I don't think he's worth a hold.
yeah, it's a tough one. Like, because he came in as like Emery's guy and Dini was playing shit at the time. But like, again, I go back to the point of like, why would you drop or bench a guy that's been okay? Like, I've seen chats though, like the games that they've played in the Conference League, that the goals that they've conceded have been like Dini's fault and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know. It's a weird one. I feel like they're still going to somewhat prioritize that European competition, like given Emery's pedigree in Europe to a certain extent. So I don't know. It's a very, very tough one, man. Like if you are like very, very stuck for defenders and like he's your fourth defender and sometimes your starting three have tough fixtures, or let's say one of them is a City one that gets randomly benched, like are you then, I guess, I mean, you'd probably drop the City one. You probably shouldn't be rostering them. But I'm like trying to give the scenario where like you're stuck and you have to make a decision. I think at that point, then, yeah, you might have to make a tough call and drop Moreno. Unless you try, again, getting trade value to the Digne owner or whatever.
That's fair. So I dug up the poll, right? It's someone on our Discord, DJ actually, yeah, self. He asked, is Moreno back soon after the international break? Is he worth picking up off the waiver wire? So I guess slightly different than what he's asking here, but 8 people replied. 5 yeses, 3 nos. So I mean that's I don't know.
So people still believe in him.
Yeah.
I know it's not a massive sample size, but again, I think anywhere I've seen, like, people do believe in him. But I'm with you. I'm skeptical. Like, and I'm probably gonna remain that way until I see otherwise. So
yeah, exactly. Dingy's just been great. So
yeah. All right. Next question.
So it's from Draft by. Should Shaw be held? And he kind of raises argument here, right? He says, on one side, there aren't many defenders that are doing well this year, so he looks like he's worth the hold. On the other side, no news at all about his recovery, and they've actively brought in a replacement, so it could be a long time until he's back. So it could be that he's worth dropping. Thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, usually for injury news, I kind of go to like premierinjuries.com because I think that's the website that Ben Dinnery runs.
Mm-hmm.
And the potential return was the 22nd of October. Last update was August 25th, where we can't put a time scale. It's personal these days. They will be for some period absent, where Luke will be longer than Mason Mount, I think. So it's a very, very old update or whatever. But again, like, I agree. It's the same thing where there's no updates. And I think when the injury had happened, they talked about it being related to his broken leg, which was like a while back. And to me, like that just, I don't know, man. I don't want to like fuck with that. Like that just sounds like a terrible injury. And I feel like, again, you can possibly just stream a defender like based on matchups, based on fixtures. There should always be at least one defender you can grab. And I get that, like, defenders are slim pickings and all that, but I don't know. It could be roster dependent. It could be league dependent, matchup dependent. I don't know. But I put, for one, like, I probably would have dropped him by now, I think.
Yeah, so it gets trickier the longer you wait, right? Because you've already held in like maybe 3-4 weeks where he's just added no value to your squad. Do you bite the bullet and still drop now, or do you hold it out? I agree with you. I would have also dropped, but maybe earlier on. Now that there's no definitive feedback on when he's back, maybe hold. But it is roster dependent. If you can survive the hold, sure. Oh man, that's fun. Yeah,
nice.
If you have an IR spot, also that helps. But it's concerning that there's no news. And I don't know, man. It's not like United was super solid when he was there. It's not like he was lighting it up. I think I always enjoy making calls like this another manager's problem. Like Ivan Toney, for example. Like, I know a lot of people are holding him. I just wouldn't have liked to have that dead spot in my squad. I say this, and then I'm holding players like Ansu Fati, right? So it's kind of the same, but not. Because at least I know there's potentially gets a start. Yeah, it's tough. I would give it till you absolutely need to drop him to at least see a bit more of an update on his injury. But like, if you really need to drop someone and he's like the last player that fits the bill to field 11 players in a game week, I would not hesitate. Drop. You can probably grab him back the next week and keep doing that for weeks on end. Or, like you were saying, just grab someone else. There are good options still out there. Yes, no defender's doing great, but there's some decent ones.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the thing is, I don't think anyone's gonna give you fab. No one's gonna do a trade. I don't think he's a desperate United fan. And it wouldn't surprise me if someone grabs him and stashes him if you drop him. But let that be that person's headache, I guess. I don't know. Like, what's the guarantee he doesn't have like some sort of setback, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Next question is from Ben Chickens, 32 Chickens. His question is, best things you did during the international break. For him, he made some lovely food, laughed a lot, and watched Summer of Soul. So for those that don't know, Summer of Soul is, I think, American independent documentary film about the 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival.
Oh, nice. I didn't know. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo. So I read this message when Ben dropped it, right? We mad some lovely food, right? So like,
yeah,
because he left the E off, I'm already reorganizing that sentence to fit how I want. I read it as, we made some love. And like, I was like, man, Ben, you're making me jealous, yo. You had a way better break than I did.
I mean, he probably did. He just, dropped the PG version for everyone.
Fair. What did I do? So I was in Canada for a bit. I was in Tobago for bits. I think it was a hectic / busy one, but productive. I did. Oh, you know what I did in Tobago? For those who don't know, I love to stand up paddle. I went stand up paddling on yesterday morning. Man, it's gorgeous. No wind. Water was completely calm and flat, which is uncommon for the ocean, right? But then so visible that I saw like a couple, I guess, stingrays or smaller stingrays.
Sick.
A turtle, Yeah. It was just peaceful. It was just me out there in the morning, early morning, and just, it feels very serene and very, like, you disconnect and you kind of get time to yourself to recollect your thoughts and reflect and stuff.
Very, very nice. For me, I played pickup football actually last week Wednesday. I just remembered that. Like probably it's been like a couple months since I got like my couple of injuries and stuff like that. So it's kind of good to get back on the pitch.
Right. Nice. How was it? No resurgence, nothing.
I mean, I did somewhat roll my ankle again because of a bad tackle. Someone again tackled me bad, but I thought I had fucked it again, and then I did this like stretch 72 hours after, heard something crack, and then there was no pain again. So I either completely tore it or I realigned some bones in my ankle. So yeah.
Could go either way, man.
Yeah, exactly. You know, gotta be positive. Went out, had some fancy food somewhere, like discovered some new Spanish restaurant, also some new Asian supermarket near me where I will definitely go spend all my money at.
Yo.
It reminds me of like those massive Asian supermarkets they had in Canada.
Yeah.
Where they have also like basically an aisle devoted to ramen, an aisle devoted to snacks, an aisle devoted to like pastries, and I'm like, I'm definitely coming back here. Like,
that's great.
this is fantastic. Yeah. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I mean, we organized Bash League, watched cricket, sort of thing. So regular biz stuff. I don't think I made love or watched some of Soul Ben. So yeah, like Ryan said. So I think now what we'll do is move on to our final question.
Sure. So it's from Mo. That's his Discord username. So I guess it's a long one, but he kind of gives his reasoning, right, for his short question. So what are we looking to do with Chilwell? Then he goes on to say, even before his injury, he was on the bench a lot, and then his value dropped massively. Are we looking to trade him out? And if so, what mids do you reckon match his value?
I'm gonna say one that everyone's just gonna laugh at when they hear it. Brownhill.
Yo.
Yeah, what do we do with Chilwell, man? Like, I don't think Cola's gonna get benched anytime soon.
Yeah, probably not. And Chile's out for a while, right?
Yeah, a couple of months.
That's tough. As an owner, of course, it's hard to drop him. You do want to trade him if you could. Yeah. I don't even think the owner would want him, though.
Nah. Maybe get some fab from a Chelsea fan. Maybe. I don't think you're going to get anything good, like any player trade out of him. Unless you trade for like an injured mid right now that someone's been holding for a very, very long time. Like, I'm not saying you're going to go get Eze or some shit like that, but I'm just trying to think of like other mids that are like out for a very long time.
Ulisse kind of had a setback, I think. But that's way too high value.
I would still want Ulisse over Chilwell in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. I would say someone like I'm going to drop Doughty just because like people are questioning whether why they keep set pieces with Townsend coming into the squad and
no way. No fucking way. Maybe or go get like a Declan Rice or something like that. Or maybe, you know, someone's doubtful on Casemiro and he's being shit and getting sent
that's
early.
Nice. That's not bad.
Yeah. But I honestly don't think you can get anything better than that.
What about like Mudryk? Because they're kind of competing.
Yeah, I don't mind that, to be honest. Like, especially if Mudryk's benched in this upcoming fixture as well. It's a good time. Like, he's probably going to get dropped at that point, but...
True.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe try and get some fab, man. I would be very hard-pressed to see where you can get player-to-player value for that trade.
Yeah, you're looking at like mid-5 if you really want a mid, right? Like Douglas Luiz?
Yeah. Potentially, yeah. Yeah, potentially.
Brownhill's about the same, like, right?
If I had the depth, I might make that trade as a Douglas Luiz owner. Like, I had like a secure starting 11 or starting 12 or 13, and like Chile was like my Tony spot in that sense, right? Because I've already got a dead spot, so I'm not trying to get a second one.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that, like, that Tony pick, I guess. Sorry, that Douglas Luiz pick. Yeah. Cool. All right. Those are the questions. Thanks, everyone. So now what we'll do is move on to the final segment, which is the FA/waiver picks.
Sorry, before we do that, I just wanted to throw out like a couple polls that went live in our Discord, right? Just to get your thoughts on them.
Sure. Cool.
Pick one. Matthias Jensen or Jeremy Doku?
I'm pretty sure I voted for this.
Yeah, you probably did.
I'm gonna go Jensen.
Which you did, I think. And Jensen's losing 7-8.
Yeah, I feel like it's the rotation. Jack's probably gonna come back eventually.
Right.
And Jensen's nailed set pieces. He's getting attack and returns consistently. And Brentford are at a shit position at the moment. I feel like there's potential for him to get better once Tony's back, if Tony stays with Brentford.
Yeah, fair. And let me see. That was Mo who asked that, so it's kind of dropping who asked it. DJ asked this one. Morgan Gibbs-White, McNeil, or Sobo?
Sobo for me.
Right, so right now it's 7 for Morgan Gibbs-White and 7 for Sobo. 1 for McNeil. I found that very polarizing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very, very weird.
Right?
Yeah, that's strange.
I thought it'd be a lot closer between all of them. Sobo for me as well, but I thought McNeil would at least make a shout. Last one to throw out. Draft by asked this one, right? I think he was kind of considering a trade. He has Son, Cash, Garner, and Vicario. And he's being offered Trent, Pedro Neto, Alisson, and 5 Fab.
I think I took the Trent side with the Fab.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I went the Son side. I said keep what you have. I found this one interesting. Neto's a great player right now. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't have faith that he keeps it all season. Whereas I think Son is only going to get better as he gets healthier from that whatever injury or whatever issue he's nursing.
Yeah.
I think the rest of it is in favor of the other trade. So I'm comparing Son to Neto, I guess. But I cashed to Trent wins. Alisson to Ghana. Alisson to Vicario, sorry. Alisson wins. So I don't know, man. But I just feel like Son could be on for another kind of golden boot type season.
But Son is ghosting worse when he's playing centre forward, I think.
Fair.
I might need to do a bit of a data dig or whatever.
Okay.
But I suspect he's not ghosting as well when he was playing out wide. But at the same time, when he plays centre forward, he fucking bangs.
That's exactly it, right? And I think with Maddie there, it just adds a new dimension of creativity that helps him massively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just backing Son to have one of those seasons where he's going to finish as a top 10 player.
Yeah. It's a great trade though, I think, because it's fairly split sort of thing, I think. So I see both sides for it. I do. I think maybe my Trent goggles plays a factor in it.
That's another thing, right? I don't place as much value in Trent as I did before because I don't think they've kept much clean sheets for the season. But Trent also got that injury, and I think coming back, he's probably going to be great again, but who knows? But it was also 9 people voted the Trent and Pedro Neto side. 6 people voted on the keep Son and Cash. It's interesting though.
Yeah.
It was a better
very, very interesting
trade that I've seen in a long while.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially involving goalkeepers.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So now what we'll do is move on to our final segment, which is FA/waiver picks. So for this segment, we like to look at assets that are under 50% owned because we think you have a better chance of grabbing them in your leagues. So as we've done recently or since the end of last season, whatever, we are looking position by position. We've got a bunch of names down in our sheet, but we're not going to talk about all of them for the sake of time, etc. And, just bang on the drum. So we're going to pick out maybe some names based on fixtures and stuff like that and see where we go in terms of discussions. So we'll start with goalkeepers. Based on the fixtures, etc., and I guess the names we have on the sheets, is there anyone that pops out to you immediately?
Turner this week, I think is a great play.
If he starts.
Yes. You keep hinting at this Turner's a risk, but we haven't seen him lose his spot yet. I guess
at fault for the goal they conceded too, eh?
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware.
Brentford. Yeah, he talked about it in the interview as well. Like, he was at fault for it. So, like, I've been hearing on, like, different pods and a bit of an eye test, like, he is starting to let, like, mistakes creep into his game slightly. So, I am a little concerned. Like, even, I think it was that Brentford game, he kicked Wissa and Brentford should have gotten a penalty or something like that. And they didn't because VAR is fucking shit. But,
right.
So, I'm just... I agree. If he starts and he's playing, I like that pick. Versus Luton?
Yeah, exactly. I think I watched pieces of the USA versus Germany game. He was doing well to keep Germany out. So I watched when Pulisic put USA up 1-0. And then I think they conceded with Gundo scoring. And then I tuned out. But he was actually goalkeeping pretty well prior to that. Well... Maybe it was the German players shooting right at him. It's hard to say.
Wait, was Kai playing?
No, actually, Kai was not playing. This Fulkrug guy or whatever his name is was leading the line for them. And Germany looked like a newish side. Like Pascal Gross is a important aspect of their side now, right? Like, so yeah.
Happy that he's in the national setup, man.
I know, finally.
Yeah.
But that alone kind of gave me the confidence to say Turner probably keeps his spot until he really goofs and makes a mistake again.
Fair. You're banking on the clean sheet there, though.
Yes. You don't expect many saves against Luton.
Okay. In terms of maybe banking on saves, there's a couple teams that are away that are on our list. Everton away to Liverpool. We've got... who else was there? Crystal Palace away to Newcastle as well is another one that kind of came to mind. And Trafford away to Brentford. Burnley away to Brentford. If you had to pick one of those three, who are you going to go with?
I'd actually back Trafford out of those. I
Really?
just feel like Brentford haven't been as good as they started the season.
Yeah, fair.
But they're still putting up stats, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I was thinking maybe Johnston versus Newcastle.
I feel like Newcastle is so potent sometimes, though. Like, he absolutely just, like, 4-1 all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point. Any love for Fotheringham versus Manchester United at home?
So I'm a Fotheringham owner. I'm happy for the fixture, just because United haven't been looking good. Foddy, I mean, with the own goal, still really did not suffer that badly, right? Like, no matter what happens to him, he's still not massively negative.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, cool. Any love for your guy, Strakosha?
I mean, if the rumors are true and like this guy's back,
Flecken's
Flecken.
back? Okay.
Yeah, then I don't know. Plus, I watched the highlights of that, and Strakosha is not good, man. He doesn't hold anything. He just deflects everything into the path of everyone else. So it's a little concerning.
Fair enough.
All right, let's talk about some defender options. I think we got to start somewhere. 3% owned. Liverpool left back, injury to Robbo, international break.
Tsimikas. Yeah. I mean
you're the only one that owns him in one league, so
I have always loved Tsimi when he's playing. Even off the bench, he used to come in and get like an assist here, get an assist there. And he got an assist in international break, right? Like, it was a beauty of a cross. And I think it was circulating amongst the like FPL people because that's right when the Robo news dropped. I would be very happy to own Tsimi for a week or two. I mean, a lot. I didn't see the Robo injury. A lot of people are speculating with like a shoulder injury like that, you're out for a couple weeks. So I'm very keen on Tsimi. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote about Simi in our Draft Society waiver wire pickups. Guys, if you don't know who the Draft Society is, definitely go check them out. I'm now write waiver wire articles at the moment. So I can read out the blurb or whatever. So Andrew Robertson picked up a shoulder injury while on international duty with Scotland, which means Simicast should finally get his first league start of the 23-24 campaign. Konstantinos has been getting minutes in the Europa League and EFL Cup and has showed signs of being a fantasy defender 1/2. During his Europa match versus Union Saint-Gelo, I can't pronounce that. He registered 2 key passes, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles, 3 accurate crosses, 1 successful dribble, and attempted 4 of 7 corners. And then his other game in the EFL Cup where he played Leicester, he took 7 of 10 corners, accumulated 3 interceptions, 2 tackles, 2 key passes, 3 accurate crosses, not corners, and 1 shot on target. And I mean, we've seen it in the past. He's been like a 10 points per start asset. But yeah, I think he is pretty much the perfect replacement for any Robertson owner, really.
Honestly, yeah. I wish I got that handcuff, man.
Yeah. How much fab did you spend on him to get him?
I think I put 1.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
In that league, yeah, that one, you're not going to like it, but that one we don't adjust waivers. So waivers cleared the Tuesday during the international break, and nobody was active enough when Robo got injured that I just grabbed him for free.
Fair.
Yeah, I was first to react. Achim actually dropped the news first, right?
Yeah.
I think he's the one that prompted us. He was like, oh no, Rob was injured. And then I'm like, okay, grab. Then he comes back an hour or two later. He's like, why didn't I grab?
Yeah, there was a big debate actually during international break about when to clear waivers, should we delay waivers, like should we move waiver days, and there's like a lot of split opinions about it. People are arguing, we should allow free agency grabs and like let active managers benefit, but at the same time we do kind of want to encourage more people to play this game, and not everyone has the free time. Like people have shit going on in their lives, kids to look after, and some people, we kind of also want to promote a healthier lifestyle and just forget about the game for a bit during international break. So I mean, like, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but like, what are your quick thoughts on it?
So to me, once it's even for all, like once everybody knows what the options are beforehand, then to me it's fair game, right? I'm actually neither here nor there on when waivers clear. If you don't want me to be active, I would just set waivers early on in the international break anyhow. If news comes out of an injury, then I will go back in and probably tweak my waivers. But I'm setting it pretty early on because I'm that kind of active guy. So if you leave it as free agents and open, I'm also going to benefit from that one too. Because the moment news drops, I'm in there grabbing a player. But I think all players having to be on the same basis, not adjusting for people's schedules, kids, work-life balance, and everything like that. Just once everybody knows the rules beforehand, I think it's fair game.
So I was wondering whether it would be good to do like a best of both worlds, and it's something that Kyle suggested, I think last season or whatever, was doing daily waiver runs.
Right. So after Claire's,
like immediately put everybody back on the waiver
waivers
during the international break. So it's almost like, sure, you have the break, but at the same time, you're still giving a chance for everyone the next day to actually do something about it.
It's an interesting one. And I guess if that's the approach, then everybody knows beforehand, knows what they have to do.
Yeah.
That one seems like it will just milk your fab though, but
Yeah. 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 Interesting debate. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, Tsimi 3%. I don't even think about it. I think go get him if you can. Liverpool's fixtures turn, they're amazing, right? Everton at home, Forest at home, Luton away, Brentford at home, Man City away, Fulham at home, Sheffield United away. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, Simi's not going to play all of them, but those first three are an easy chance for him to smash it. So,
For sure.
okay. Out of the other names that we've got mentioned, is there anyone else you want to kind of pick at, talk about?
I'm gonna group them by team. I want to throw out the Forest boys. Tofolo, man, he came back in ghosting quite well.
Yeah.
And McKenna has been ghosting well all season. Thoughts there?
I don't know if there's any guarantee either one of them are nailed.
Fair enough.
Like, I know a lot of people went on Toffolo, or even I mentioned him in my waiver article to go for him because he's been playing the minutes more recently, but it wouldn't surprise me he's benched. McKenna comes back in, and it might be like, you know, quick fire, like first one to grab sort of thing situation. But I think if there's any sort of Forest defender free versus Luton for that fixture, I would say, yeah, definitely punt on it.
Okay, fair. And then the second team I just wanted to throw out was United, because they've gone back in time and are playing Johnny Evans again, playing Harry Maguire. They're both very lowly owned, deliberately so. What are your thoughts there?
I mean, it's a fixture play, right? Sheffield United away, like, worst team in the league.
Yeah, so
you say that. See, the thing is, I say that, but it wouldn't surprise me if United concede. Like,
oh, for sure. So also, like, Maguire in the past has not been the worst at ghost points, right? Like,
yeah,
he gets there and gets an attack, but he also gets own goals, right? He scores on both ends of the pitch, but he's an aerial threat. So
yeah,
I wouldn't
and Sheffield
mind.
United suck at
And
aerials,
set pieces. So yeah, with a shout.
Not the worst idea. Yeah.
Anyone else on defenders list that you think is?
I mean, you can maybe go for the Luton guys because it's a Forest game, but again, I think I'd back the home team in that fixture, like Kabore 12%, Burke 1%, kind of ghosting okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I want to touch the Brentford defense other than like Pinnock sort of thing. So I don't know if I talk about them too much because I do back Burnley to get something out of that game, I think.
Fair enough.
There's Lascelles versus Palace because Palace can't score. But again, I think that depends on the Botman injury.
Mm-hmm.
There's one name I do want to talk about, and apparently it's kind of slipped under the radar. I think Semedo might be missing the game due to suspension or something. I feel like FPL didn't flag it or some shit like that. So I've seen like Doherty get picked up in a few leagues. So like, I don't know how you feel about that. Like you see him like in that starting lineup, you know, which day are they playing? Come Saturday versus Bournemouth. Not the worst fixture.
Yeah, I would love to do it for the nostalgia. It's just I have no faith in his minutes, man. I think even if he starts, he's not guaranteed to go beyond 60 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah. And I feel like Bournemouth could finally get something, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, Wolves aren't fantastic either, right?
No, I mean, I would, if you have like a couple streaming spots on your side, absolutely, I would do it. But if it's really just one spot, I would probably hold out for someone better.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I'm a little skeptical. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's us. So, all right, let's talk about mids. Where do you want to start?
I want to throw out Liverpool mids. So I see you have Gravenberch here. I'm an owner. Do you think he's going to break into that squad? I mean, I know we're not Ras, we're not Liverpool fans, but like I feel like it's a matter of time, man.
So I put that name down because I think international duty McAllister might be coming back late.
True.
So that's why I feel like Gravenberch could get some game time. And again, it's a fixture play sort of situation.
Yes.
So
Well, that's kind of why I started here, because the rest of their fixtures are very good, like you mentioned, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It's the same reason I have Elliott there as well.
yeah.
But if I saw both available, I'd probably go Gravenberch, I think.
Yeah, same. He's another one of those who just plays in those other competitions and does well there, but then comes to Prem, he's not nailed.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Anyone else? Nottingham Forest. Let's talk about Murillo, man. 2% owned, playing out of position, not where you want him, but smash the ghost points, right?
I mean, so I kind of chalk him up to like a good reverse OOP player, because if Forest end up conceding a lot, you don't lose the points because of goals against. Kind of like a Doughty, right? Like,
or like a Solly March playing left back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for those kinds of, well, Brighton's been so leaky now, but for those kinds of teams like Forest and Luton, that's what you kind of want. You don't want the downside of them conceding a lot, but you want the upside of the players actually having to do a lot of work because they need to put in that defensive effort to stay in the game, right?
Yeah. So during that game versus Palace, he had this mazy run where he like dribbled through the whole team and basically took 2 shots.
Right.
So, I mean, part of his stats, 2 shots on target, 2 successful dribbles. So I'm not sure what to make of that. But at the same time, 14.5 as a midfielder is still fucking mental.
Yes.
Playing centre back.
Yes.
So maybe there's something there, man.
Maybe.
Yeah. Who else do you want to talk about on this list?
Brace Hero McTominay? No. I don't think it's worth discussing, really.
I genuinely don't think he's going to get a start.
Neither
I
me.
could be wrong, but yeah.
The Everton boys, I think, are worth discussing, though. Tough fixture,
Tough
yes.
fixtures, yeah.
But I think both Harrison and Garner, both under 50% owned, are worth rostering.
Yeah, agreed.
So
At least Garner, who's on corners, right?
yes, exactly. And he's set piece. Like, okay, so I see another name on it, Burnley, right? Brownhill. Like, there should be no corner taker who's under 50% owned.
Yeah, agreed. It's a safe way to point. And you've got to take that punt on the chance that football's a fucking random game and you could get a random assist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I don't think there's anyone else really to talk about.
Nope.
I think.
Not really.
Cool. All right, let's finally end with forwards.
I want to start with Bournemouth. Sinisterra, man. I completely forgot he's there. And then I saw him cleared in a waiver, and then I forgot to go in my next league and put him on waiver. But like, you got him. How do you feel?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, signs are promising, right? 2 appearances off the bench, both 30 minutes, both 6.5 or whatever.
yeah,
I mean, we know his quality when he was at Leeds.
exactly. And I think Bournemouth need to do something different, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
I'd be excited as well. I mean, yeah, you have a lot of forwards, and maybe you don't even start him, but it is exciting.
Yeah, if he starts, I would be very tempted to roll him out. But at the same time, I feel like he doesn't play 90 minutes.
True, he won't.
Yeah. Let's talk about Burnley, boys.
Sure.
I mean, we know Lyle, 39% owned. I think he's the most nailed. Will play 90 minutes. Should be on pens. So I think that's a fairly easy one. But the other ones, Odebear 1% owned, who seems to be the best ghoster out of the lot compared to Amdouni, who I think shoots the most, and Koleosho, who is a bit of a dribble merchant.
Yeah, so I feel like minutes are a bit of a worry for all those fluff players besides Lyle now, right?
Yeah.
It's really Lyle I'll focus on. The rest, maybe not so much.
But if you had to rank them, let's say, and I know this is not the most exciting conversation for some people, but
Odebear, Amdouni, and Koleosho.
yeah, I think I'd do the same. Yeah.
Koleosho, actually, early in the season, I would have put higher, like probably second.
Yeah.
But Now,
Yeah.
not so much. No.
Yeah, because I think Otterbear has kind of popped up as well, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool.
I know
where
you
else?
also own a. So I'm going to go to Forest. Cho,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? Because he's not been delivering what we
No.
thought he could.
Yeah. I think right now it's one of those situations. It's a lost opportunity for him to be a perma stash in my team versus Luton. Now, if he can't do it versus Luton, what's the point in holding?
Right. Fair. I mean, he had that one great game versus Burnley.
Yeah.
And you got to know, like, this player is still in there.
Yeah.
But
You'd think so.
how
Yeah.
do you not, like, do better versus Palace, right? 3 points is not good enough. Against Brentford, too, who haven't been great.
Yeah.
3 points there,
Yeah.
too. So, I get what you're saying. Luton is
And it's the subs as well. Like I would prefer if he's getting subbed in the 80th minute or something like that.
yeah,
But
not the
it's-
60th or so.
It's kind of early, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like he's a mid where he gets the CS points. And sure, I'm not saying, oh, definitely get like CS points. But hey, I've lost games by 0.25 in this fucking format. So
Yeah, fair. And
Every
then
point
as
counts,
we're
so-
on the fixture, is
Yeah.
Ilanga worth a shout here? Or is he like a lineup call?
I think it's fixture play sort of thing. He looks bright. Eye test, it looks good. Like he looks a bit exciting. A little reckless at times, but again, I think it's pure fixture play that you gotta take a chance on these guys if you don't have a forward to kind of roll out. So
Fair.
it's like you've got Nico Jackson versus Arsenal or these guys versus Luton.
Yeah, in a streaming spot. Right.
Yeah.
True.
So it's a bit of a
True.
tough one. I don't think it's that simple because Arsenal's fucking amazing this season. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's like I have Vinicius versus Spurs or Ogben versus Luton. Like one was weird, man. Like double game week, he didn't really score that well, and all of a sudden he then puts up a 7-point ghost game versus Spurs. So I didn't know what to make of that, and he's getting the minutes. So I think that one I really put down there because it was again a fixture plays versus Forest, but it's not like I'm scrambling or stashing these guys. It's literally like a punt.
Yeah. I like how you corrected your own self. You didn't even realize it. You said he was playing Luton and then you said playing Forest.
Oh yeah. Well,
But yeah.
sponsored by Corona.
Oh, nice. What am I drinking? Moosehead, Canadian beer. Yeah, I think like we talked about Vinicius already. Ogben actually looks bright, but again, not the most exciting.
And Spurs were down to 10, right? So
Yes, true. Very good point. Yeah, I think we mentioned the ones that are worth mentioning, really.
would you ever play a Dingra versus City?
Nah, not for me.
You'd stash him?
I wouldn't. I think,
You think he's a streamer?
yeah, he's a streamer and he's just so rotational.
Everyone in Brighton's rotational, man.
I know, it's annoying.
Yeah, you're a Fergie owner. What are you gonna do with that? You're just gonna hold him then?
Yeah, I have 5 hours in that league, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I do hope he nails that spot. Like, man, knock them out of Europe and just have a one place to focus, and I think he becomes great.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about an asset that scored a hat trick, right? So
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah, cool. All right, those are the picks, and that is the pod. Sweet. Thank you guys again for tuning in to yet another episode. Really loved it. Shy of the 2-hour mark, but I mean that's fine. That's fine. Do you have any closing remarks, final words before we go into another small chunk of the season? I think we've got another 4 weeks until the next international break or something like that.
Yeah. Thoughts? So I had a question for you now that we just touched on Brighton then. If you were like a Mitoma or who else? João Pedro owner, right? Are you worried? Are you looking to get them out, or are you just going to start them regardless of if they make the starting lineup or not?
That's a tough one. Like I know managers that I think they had Mitoma and they started him even if he was benched. I
Right.
think I'd only do that if
The fixture.
I was forced into it. Not even fixture. If I was
okay.
forced into it, really.
Right.
Like all my other options are like benched or they have harder fixtures, and then I'm gonna take the punt. And probably the only one I'd be comfortable with is Mitoma taking that punt.
Not João Pedro. João Pedro's done decent bits off the bench.
He's on pens too.
Yeah.
So I guess that is like a bit of a positive thing. I'm just trying to pull up Brighton outfield assets and how they've kind of fared minutes wise. Let's see. So minutes wise. So Lewis Dunk has played the most minutes, obviously, 720 minutes. Mitoma is second with 665 minutes, right? So if you look at the, I guess, games versus games started, that sort of stuff. So Mitoma played 8 games, started 7. So he's only been benched for 1 of them as well, right? So he's playing the most. So I think he's still coming on. He's probably one of the first few, and if they're doing subs, he's probably one of the first few to come on and make an impact and all of that. But then there's a bit of a serious drop off, right?
Yeah.
Because João Pedro is like what?
3 starts.
Yeah, 8th on that list of outfielders. 3 starts out of 8 games. Like that's very concerning.
But played a lot of minutes.
Yeah,
Returning 9 points a game. That's not bad.
But then Ferguson, who's started 5 of the 8 games, has played 356 minutes, fewer than Pedro.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, Brighton are a minefield, yeah.
They are. And listen, Brighton will play great football. They will score goals, but is that a headache that you really want? Like, I don't know. I feel like you can trade and get value and all that, and I just rather a nailed asset at this point, man. I don't know.
I get you.
Like, because in that same round that you got Mitoma, you probably would have gotten him second round, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, like the first example that comes to mind is like, would you rather Mbeumo or Mitoma? Like, start of the season, I think any day you're going Mitoma, right?
Right.
But now, looking back at it.
Yeah, I think like he would have gone before Bowen in most leagues.
Yeah, and Bowen is fucking killing it regardless of Europe or whatnot.
Yeah, and still nailed. Very much crucial to what they do. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. It might be a trade. I don't know. It might be a trade situation, or it's like you said, right? They get knocked out of Europe, and all of a sudden, Brighton assets are back on the menu. So.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Anything else or
no?
Yeah.
I mean, cool. I don't own Brighton assets, surprisingly, besides Ferguson. But I found it very interesting. Like, I think I would have started João Pedro in a lot of games because they started with easy-ish fixtures, right?
Yeah, they did. It was a great starting draft or whatever, having all these Brighton assets. Yeah. But I think you still have an opportunity to kind of trade them high. Maybe slightly missed it, but yeah, it's definitely something to kind of consider, man.
True.
Because injuries are popping up and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's a weird one. I think with them you kind of need a bit of depth in your roster. So
for sure.
And I think my final note is just remember that Champions League European football is still going on. So just be mindful of that between game weeks. Keep an eye on everything. Keep an eye on press conferences as players are coming back from international duty and stuff like that. Make sure you have backup plans. But then, as always, we end on Ross's final note, which is just have fun.
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right, Ryan. I'll catch you on the next pod, mate.
All right.
Peace.